Today is October 28th, 2019. I'll be reviewing Clerks, the comic book. It's a trade paperback. I made a couple of them. There's just the Clerks one. There's Jay and Silent Bob Chasing Dogma, and Blunt Man and Chronic. They might have made, or Kevin's might have made some since, but these are what I have right now. Probably gonna do one at a time. And I think I'm doing it in the correct order of it goes Clerks, then Jay and Silent Bob Chasing Dogma, and then finally Blunt Man and Chronic. Reading the back of the Clerks comic, at first it starts off with saying, from the pen of Kevin Smith comes all new adventures of Dante Randall, Jay and Silent Bob, and all the customers of the Quick Stop Mini Mart. This trade paperback collects the 3 individual Clerks comic books and features art by Jim Mahfood, Phil Hester, and Andy Parks. Or Andy. It could be Andy Parks. Andy. Could be Andy. I'm sure it's Andy, though. It makes... Andy. Anyway. I could keep reading the back, but, yeah, I guess it only has 3 comics in this. But we'll see what I can do with this. I already looked at a little bit of the artwork. I've always been a fan. If you ever watched the animated series, I actually really fucking love that. It was a little slow paced, and I think a lot of it had to do with just the fact of the restrictions of cable television. But if there were, I know that they've made Jay and Silent Bob's groovy cartoon movie or whatever. I haven't seen that. I'm not particularly. The animation doesn't look too appetizing to me. I know once again they're doing it on their own budget, so it is what it is. But I don't know. I think a budget. You only can blame a budget for only so much. To varying degrees, because once again, I think it's possible to make an exciting movie with very little budget. And I know Clerks is not. Clerks is not exactly. Even an action-oriented film, I think is possible. I just you just gotta think outside the box. But I understand that once again, people have already thought outside the box in terms of working out a budget, and I don't know. Anyway, this is neither here nor there. I've been writing down ideas for this one movie, which is kind of Clerks oriented. It's not Clerks fucking word for word, kind of just a dialogue built movie. But you'll see if it gets made. If it doesn't, then I'm just talking shit. Enough talking shit. I'm gonna just get right to it. I already kind of named off everyone who's involved. It was on the back issue, so if you need me to hear it again, or if you want to hear it again, you can, rewind. Fuck it. Alright, so you got Kevin Smith, Jim Mahfood, Phil Hester, and Andy Parks. Or Andy. Or Jim I think Mahfood's pretty... Mahfood. That's Mahfood. Anyway, I'm sure he's heard that fucking joke plenty of times. No, it's a quite original fucking tale. Anyway, but I really like the artwork for the animated series, and I'm not sure who starts drawing it first. Maybe. Hold on. Jim Mahfood. So Jim Mahfood. I don't know. And once again, the cover, the cover reminds me very much so of the animation. So maybe it might be the same animator, or maybe I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure, but hold on. Chris Bailey. I wonder. So just that art. I just love that artwork style. It's cartoony, but it's just I don't know, man. Reminds me of Looney Tunes, but I don't know. Let me actually start reading the fucking comic, man. Starts off in a comic book store. I can't remember what the precise comic book store. It's I think even the same comic book store in Mallrats. I can't. And you got Steve Dave. I don't remember the other fucking guy's name. But they're just like talking about fucking some. I don't know. Like it's pretty nice commentary. I mean, I get what Kevin Smith's going for. I mean the paneling's pretty cool. There's a little bit of a I was kind of like, whoa, what's going on? But after rereading it a couple times, I kind of figured it out. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Because it seemed like anyway, it doesn't matter. But I don't know. You could just some of the dialogue, like especially for like Randall, and it just almost like lifts off the page. And like when they kind of really start, like I would say the openings, like not really even the opening page, because it's like a couple pages in. Like this is after that scene that just occurred with Randall and the two comic book owners, comic book store owners or clerks, I guess. But I mean, there's just like, for example, I mean, just like from like Clerks, there's like people just like waiting for RST Video to open up, which Randall is an employee of and should be working there right now. But he is walking right by it and is going to be going right into the quick stop, where his pal Dante is. And just right before I get back into reading it, I mean, once again, I really like the artwork of this. It's just so fucking. I fucking love. I mean, like the outline, the extra outline. It's, I don't know, man. That's my shit, man. I mean, I would, if I could draw like anyone, it'd definitely be like this. Is it Jim Food? Is he the guy? Once again, I just want to make sure. I just want to confirm. I normally don't ever do this. I mean, I know always just kind of like bypass the credits because I'm a fucking idiot. But I'm trying to be better about that now. But yeah, I think it's Jim Food. I love this kind of artwork. But anyway, there's two guys that are just waiting. There's like one guy's like, "Son of a bitch, made me late for work, fucking slacker." And the guy's like, 10 o'clock means 10 o'clock. And I think Randall's gonna say some shit to him again. Hold on. Let me read up what's going on. Alright, I mean, this is just like pretty classic Kevin Smith humor and dialogue. So the two people are waiting, kind of like fucking now arguing with Randall, and Randall's just like kind of just joking with him, like at some point now, Randall says to one of the guys, "Because you're a scumbag junkie, jonesing for a video fix, and I'm your pusher." And the guy's just like, "That's it, you fuck." And then Randall quickly, I don't know quickly, but he retorts, "I have a copy of the Mighty Ducks 9 hidden under the counter." And the dude's like, "The one with Emilio and a dress?" And he's like, "The very same, and it has your name on it." And the dude's like, "Wait a second, I was here first. Those ducks are mine." And the other dude's like, "Eat it, bitch. I've got first dibs." And the other dude's like, You'll walk out of there with a Barney tape and like it, you fucking goofball." And the other what made me really laugh was, once again, "Let go my Emilio. You let go my Emilio." It's, I mean, once again, it's stupid humor, but it's not always stupid humor. I mean, but that's just, I don't know, just quirky. Now I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I'd maybe look up a little bit of information to see which one came first, but I'm sure it's relatively around the same time as the animated series. But it definitely has it's a different story than some of the things that go on in the animated series, but very similar humor. The overall Clerks humor. I don't know, man. Old ladies at the counter and or walked up to the counter as Randall's saying, "No, I got it. Ready? Ahem. Unless the two jobs in question were a rim job and a blow job. Yeah, sweet rim job and a power suck blow job do me just fine right about now." And then they kind of just all stand around there. And then Randall eventually kind of realizes what he said. Well, realizes that he's not just with Dante. The woman's like, "Well, don't look at me. I'm not going to rim or blow him." And she starts walking away. And Randall says, "And why the hell not, might I ask?" And Dante says, "Just please go open the video store. And to end, this is all in one page essentially. I mean, relatively, it's like a page and like bottom panel of another page. But and then another guy that came up just like asked like had to put away some stuff while this all was going on because he didn't have enough money. And he came back to the fucking counter and said, "I just put back a pack of gum. How much is it now?" And the guy was like owing like $6.73. So even like a pack of gum is not $6. So I don't know. It's funny, man. It's funny. In my opinion. I mean, I don't know. Some people, maybe this is kind of very boring to them. I mean, I've worked in as a clerk and a cashier, many times. The shit people try to get away with, like the one guy that once, like, it was, said he put away a fucking pack of gum, like, he was, he swore, like, I thought there was a leave $1, take $1 thing, like, one of the dishes, like a leave a penny, take a penny, but, anyway, it's, it's just very small stuff, but it's just like, let me look up this word real quick, just because it starts with an M, and I just want to make sure that's what I'm thinking before. No, never mind. I don't know if that's the. Oh, okay, yeah. Menial task. Yeah. Menial work. Menial. Menial. The comedy is just in a very menial things, and you either laugh at it or you're like, well, I don't get it. That's fine. Or you do get it, and it's just, it's just like, eh. But, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm gonna continue reading on. I really also like that it's in black and white. I mean, there's actually a lot of black in it. And I think the black is actually very effective. It almost seems like like Sharpie. I hope I can draw similar to this. I mean, because color is cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, black and white's just really cool too. I could do both. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Are all of them in black and white? No, not all of them. Just the first two are. The last one is in color, and I'm referring to the actual books, not the issues. The entire book of Clerks is all in black and white. But if you don't like that, then oh well. But I'm enjoying this thoroughly. I've definitely read this before, actually. It's been a while, and I think I only read it about once. I mean, I've read it like years ago. So, but. It's just like, once again, like watching the fucking animated series. I just wish that was on like Netflix or something like that, or Hulu, or on some kind of streaming platform. I think it was. I don't know. I'll have to like pick up it on DVD or something like that. Anyway, I mean, the next panel is just literally like the two guys that were fighting. They're now fighting over fucking Mighty Ducks 9. Dude, I mean, it's fucking. Yeah, like, would they have been able to do this in Like, could this have been like Clerks 1.5 or something like that, or been a part of like a Clerks fucking show? I mean, by this point, it's been like fucking 25 years now. And I don't know if they'd be able to do like, I don't know, maybe maybe they still could. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Just enjoying it while I can, I guess. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway. I don't know, man. It's ridiculously funny. Who's driving the car? Bear's driving car. It's fun. It's just that kind of humor right now. It's fucking hilarious, in my opinion. Like, once again, another example of like menial humor here is like November '91. How does this shit happen? It's like there's an expired milk troll back there. It's fucking dude, it's funny as fuck. Because it's, once again, like, what I mean? Like, it's probably like 94 or whatever. I mean, like, this was made in 2000, but I mean, like, whatever. But, like, and they're probably consistently, checking out to make sure that, that they have to keep checking out to make sure. And like, once again, 91. So and that's just, menial stuff, but, like, that shit happens all the fucking time, man. All the time. You just find something you're just like, what the fuck? Another really good thing, or another thing that Kevin Smith can do that I admire a lot is just, I mean, talking about, like, you know, dialogue's just so real sometimes, because I think this one's gonna came out like right before episode 1. I could be wrong. Maybe it actually came out after or during, like, enough time to actually view it, I guess. View askew it. I'm a fucking asshole now. Okay, anyway, but Randall's now, like, suggesting that they sell action figures, Star Wars action figures, chase figures. If you don't know what a chase figure is, just like a very sought out or very rare wanted object or figure, I guess, thing. And Randall wants to make a couple extra bucks, and Dante's saying no fucking way. He says, first off, I'd hardly call Star Wars the biggest thing to happen to our generation. It's a movie that, granted, the flannel-wearing set of our generation seem to obsess over the details of, present company especially, but it's still just a movie. Trust me, after the overexposure of the re-release, no one but you gives a rat's ass about your precious trilogy anymore. And then he goes up to somebody, or, you know, waits for the customer. The customer's kind of just standing there, and he says, "Can I help you guys?" And one of them says, "Do you have any Star Wars cards?" And he's like, "You paid them to say that." He's like, "Face it, my friend, the Force will always be with us, always. Star Wars is the future." I don't want to keep reading off all the dialogue. I don't know if it'd be called this, but, like, there's, like, echo joking. Like, they're just talking about, Randall's like, you'll thank me when you're 68 and the sale of multiple Kung Fu grip Darth Vader figures has us knee deep in filet mignon instead of El Po. And then it cuts to, like, some dude, like, getting some dog food. And, I mean, like, I would assume, like, the guy's just, like, getting it for his dog, but, like, the guy's like, "Don't knock it till you try it." But anyway, then it cuts back to, like, outside. It says, Jay screaming, "What do you mean you don't want any? It's Jamaican lamb's wool, for fuck's sake. You know how hard this is to get?" He's like, "Sorry, man. I spent all my cash on the new Kung Fu grip Darth Vader figures." I mean, now that I'm reading it off, probably doesn't seem that funny, but I don't know, man. I was kind of, you know, chuckling to myself. So I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm, like, reading it so slowly, and I don't know, that's pretty fucking cool. Now, it doesn't happen too often, but there is a grumble. I'm seeing a grumble. Randall is grumbling right now. Randall got, I don't know what the fucking phrase would be. Whatever is on the other side of the stick or whatever. I mean, a couple of clerks kind of, like, sarcastically fucked with him about the whole, like, Star Wars thing, because he wanted to pick up some Star Wars collectibles. Kind of just schooled them in knowledge, because, you know, it's like, who do you think you are to just, like, walk in here thinking that you can demand this stuff or get any of this stuff? I mean, there's people that have been showing up since, like, 6 in the morning every day for blah 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 blah. Anyway, grumble. I don't expect them to do this, but I mean, hypothetically, if they ever wanted to, like, if they ever could, and so, I mean, even if they had to do, like, different actors or whatever, I mean, I'm sure that would, you know, cause a huff puff with some people. But I know Jeff Anderson, you know, he's only interested in doing what he wants to do, and, you know, not, I mean, like, you know, you have to, like, not exactly coax somebody. I mean, like, if he's not interested in doing something, he's not going to do it. I mean, that's why it took Clerks 3 so long to be greenlit. Which is fine, you know what I mean? If he doesn't see that there's a point, then, you know what I mean? But, and apparently now he sees that there's a point, so. But, if they, you know what I mean? This is hypothetical, but I just, like, you know, they're now driving around to find some prick calls himself the Force Source. They're trying to now, because Dante's now into I guess involved with the whole rich quick scheme, or the get rich quick scheme with the Star Wars collectibles that Randall's, like, going on and on about. And it took me a couple seconds to kind of, like, I had to reread another spot, but it makes sense now I read it. But Randall's now, like, coming out and saying that he apparently steals from the cash register every now and again. And Dante's like, you do that? Oh my fucking god, man. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Alright, so they explain chase figures a little bit more, and just talking about how, like, you know, dealers and how, well, collectible dealers, and they'll buy up from literally like the actual toy store before it's even opened, and get all the buy up the chase figures like as cheap as possible, and then market up high as fuck when they get to like conventions, and then the fans have like no choice but to buy at whatever price that is, you know, offered, I guess. And I mean, the only when I was younger, I've collected some toys or collectibles, I guess, and I played Hero Clicks, and there were chase figures in those sets, like just a very sought out, very good figure that was kind of, you know, not the typical character, I guess. Like typically it'd be like the character had like special powers, or, you know, from like a certain point in time, or like they dressed up differently, or, you know, had, I don't know. Anyway, or like, you know, chose different sides, something like that, or on a different team or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, just something I just want to talk about. Randall's talking. That's Frankie Howell. He runs the stock room here at Buy Me Toys. Dante says, which means, and Randall says, which means he controls the flow of chase figures in Melmount County. Twice a week, they come and pay homage in hopes of securing the newest and latest. If you please, Frankie, you go home with the most sought after gems in the world of collectibles. But if you insult him, well, let's just endeavor to not insult him. And you see, like, you know, two different guys. Like, one guy's going with a bunch of money, and he got what he wanted. Another guy's like offering a couple of tickets or something like that. And the guy's like, Frankie dude's like, no way. But you know, it's kind of like, you know, like mafia kind of shit. But like in terms of like collectibles. But what I really want to talk about is just like, once again, like, on one sense, you know, this kid's just some, you know, he just runs the stock room. Some dude or some kid that runs the stock room at a fucking Buy Me Toys. The managers don't really, I mean, I'm sure nowadays maybe not all managers, but some managers or most kind of like, you know what's going on. But like, you know, what's in their inventory, I guess. But there are every now and again, especially I'm sure during the 90s, where like the only people that really knew were, you know, who actually like, knew and was involved in the whole fucking thing, I guess. But once again, I mean, like, you know, this Frankie kid were to go like fucking to his managers, and I don't know, see the power or significance of this kid. It's almost, I mean, in a sense of like, you know, like even like a celebrity, say, like, you know what I mean, Kevin Smith's very well known, but like, and like, you know what I mean, everyone, like, you know, there's fans of the VSQ universe, but like, you know, if you go to like some people who have no idea, they don't fucking see how powerful or meaningful, I guess, this whole universe is, I guess. I don't know, just what I was thinking. The only reason why Randall's doing this is so that he can take out his competitors, aka the two fucking comic book clerks. The artwork is fucking hilarious. I mean, Jay's screaming at, or shouting anyway, at fucking Silent Bob, and Silent Bob's got a tear running down his left eye as he's looking down and closing. I mean, his eyes are closed anyway. And Jay's screaming, "You bought a Leia, Pork, and Ewok figure, you fat fuck." Dude, it's it's fuck, yo. That's it. This filthy addiction has reached my own doorstep, and I'll have no more of it. We're going to fix this shit once and for all. The two comic book clerks are named Walt and Steve Dave. I only knew Steve Dave. I couldn't remember the other name, but it's Walt. Funny as fuck, though. Only reason why I know that is offering Walt up for his orifices as you see fit. And that Frankie Howell kid is gonna do some dirty ass shit to that Walt kid now. And and Dante's like, I believe that's our cue to get out of here. And Randall's like, I agree. And first issue just ends with Jay. I mean, moments before at the end of the comic, Jay and Silent Bob get into or stop one of those a truck that's filled with the next set of Star Wars collectibles, and they steal them. They steal the truck specifically, or not exactly steal it, but sorry, they get the truck and end up flooding the collectible market, destroying any way of, you know what I mean, fucking making money or real profit off these collectibles, which tends to often happen with, you know, anything in a fucking in an economy. You just, you know, too much supply, not enough demand. But all I wanted to say as well is they were able to. Jay and Silent Bob were able to get that truck because apparently they said that the truck driver sexually harassed them, or sexually harassed. Yeah, the truck driver sexually harassed them. Jay and Silent Bob, and he's now in jail. But anyway, that ends it. And the next panel over, it's not really. I mean, it's just kind of like just a drawing, but it's Jay and Silent Bob dressed up as an elf and Santa. And they got, like, I don't know, it's just really cool artwork, I think. You got Randall and Dante just, like, kind of looking over. Randall's on the phone. Pretty cool. I don't think it has anything to do with anything, but it's fucking cool. Next up is Holiday Special. And I believe, once again, that's all Jim Food, I think, again. Anyway, or I just want to confirm once again. Yes. And then Phil Hester does the Lost Scene. Okay. Word. Okay. Makes sense. Alright. Okay. Let me just start reading it up. The opening of issue 2, Holiday Special, I guess Steve Dave actually might be a racist, because he's like, why this town desegregated, I'll never know. It's fucking foul, man. Clearly, once again, these are like supposed to be, like, you know, characters you're not supposed to like. Or you're supposed to, if you do like them, like, you're supposed to like to hate them, or hate to dislike them, or whatever. I don't know. But Walt's, you know, clearly, you know, he's a pushover character. He essentially disagrees with whatever his friend says, and the friend's like making very radical fucking suggestions. But, you know, like, there's this one kid that came in saying, do you have any loose figures? And the kid's like, and Steve J's like, do you have a loose mother? Go on, beat it. And then says the whole, like, desegregated part. And then says, like, there's no new blood coming in after this generation of comic book collectors eventually dies. That's it. There's no kids reading comics to take their place. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, clearly it's just kind of like an example of why, you know, there isn't any new blood. And, yeah. Anyway. Steve Dave's blaming on, like, the kids' faults and how they're into internet porn and playing video games and watching that movie crap. And the publishers are no help either. They hire the worst people to write the worst crap. Why they let some dickhead movie boy write for one of their most revered characters I'll never know. They think this is going to bring in new readers. Probably just sat on the shelf, I bet. No, it's sold out, but I only ordered 5 copies just to send those fucks a message that I won't buy any more gimmicks. What we need is more stuff like this. Alternate interiors is the wave of the future. I'm Steve Dave. I ran out of tape for your mom's Christmas gift. So anyway. Yeah, the guy's, like, very deluded, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, once again, it's kind of making, funny, or making fun of, like, the fans, like, giving the reasons as to why it doesn't work out anymore, and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I'm kind of in that category myself, just being a critic, comic book reader as well. Not just always going, I love this, I love this, I love this, and not talking about the things I don't like. But, anyway, I mean, I always say I leave it up to balance, so, anyway, so Walt and Steve Dave are, bashing their demon comic book. I mean, it's essentially just kind of Kevin's kind of like talking about how people are like dismissing him being a comic book writer, even though he's made movies. But what I was laughing, just kind of chuckling to myself, and Walt's like, I can't even look at this crap. Where does it go? And Steve Dave's like, I took it out of that Brody fucks reserve box. You know what to do. And Walt then bends it. And I don't know, it's funny as fuck to me. So it's during the holidays, and the two, Walt and Steve Dave, the comic book clerks, have to go over to the Quick Stop to pick up some tape. And then Dante's just kind of sitting there, or standing there, at being another clerk at the being another clerk, but at the Quick Stop instead. And he's just kind of chill, watching Charlie Brown Christmas or whatever, or Charlie Brown's Christmas or whatever. I don't remember. And Pastor comes up, I believe, and he's just kind of having a conversation with Dante. And then, goes in, a bunch of gossip about even though, I may believe in the sanctity of marriage, but twice daily I pray for Reggie to leave Joy and marry Kathy Lee instead. That Joy is so painfully unfunny. And he goes on, but then the, pastor, I believe, or could be priest, I'm not sure. Hold on one second. We'll just say member of the clergy. Anyway, he's asking Dante for his opinion on the whole fucking Kathy Lee. Well, I guess Reggie leaving Joy for, or his wife for Kathy Lee, I guess. And Dante doesn't really feel like sharing his thoughts, I guess. And, the pastor or the priest, I believe it's the pastor, I don't know, he's saying he says, can I give you a suggestion? And Dante's like, not that Kathy Lee Christmas album again. And he was just the pastor, or the member of clergy, says, do you know anyone who's spending the holidays in the hospital? So this takes place after Clerks 1. I know, I can't remember which one, I can't remember which girlfriend it was. I think it might be Veronica, or yeah, I can't remember, but one of them's in the fucking psych ward because she fucked a dead guy in Clerks 1. And you can watch the movie if you want to see that, I guess. Anyway, and the last thing that happens with that conversation, or the interaction between Dante and the pastor, or the member of clergy, is he asked for the latest issue of Thick Sticks, which might be a gay porn mag. And then as the pastor's walking away, he says, "Embrace the holiday spirit, Dante. See you in church." I mean, most of Kevin's dialogue typically has a point to it. Not always, probably, but Steve Dave's asking for some tape, and then starts freaking out because it's $3.99, saying that another place sells it for $1 and some change. And then Walt speaks up, saying sometimes they offer them 2 for 1. And Dante's like, what do you want from me? What do you want me to tell you? I don't dream up the prices, I just sell the wares. And Steve Day goes, "You take advantage of people who can't make time during their already overscheduled lives to make it to a reasonable merchant during business hours. And since this is the only place they can find what they're looking for at the end of the day, you bleed them with insultingly high markups that empty their wallets and shatter their faith in local commerce. That's what's wrong with business in America, my friend. How the hell do you live with yourself?" And one of the another customer of the Quick Stop says, "Hey, you guys work at the Comic Toast, don't you? Do you guys still have a copy of The Water Chick with the alternate 18 pages?" And Steve Day's like, "Yeah, it goes for $30." And customer's like, "But it just came out last week." And Steve Day's like, "You snooze, you lose, dickhead." So, and once again, just the whole hypocritical. I can't even, dude. I suck at fucking words so bad. The hypocrisy of it all, I guess, that's better. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. I guess what I'm seeing is a very angry mother. I haven't read any of the dialogue, but she's freaking out, and she's got a DVD or VHS of The Sphincter Claus, Santa's XXS Anima. And a woman's like drinking the fluids out of his ass. That is so fucked up. Caitlin. Veronica's the other one. I honestly prefer Veronica. Veronica honestly was fucking hot as fucking as a character. Well, I don't remember the actress's name. But anyway. So in between, the middle of this comic book, there's a little bet that Dante and Randall had about 15 years back that Randall would still have this denim jacket with a motley crew on the back of it, and he'd still be wearing it to this day. And I guess he's got 2 days to find it, otherwise he owes Dante $100. Because the bet was that Randall would still be wearing that denim jacket 15 years on. But the other conversation is Dante's telling Randall that he's about to go and visit Caitlin at the hospital. I just want to say this is random, but as I'm reading this, it's an indie comic for sure, but like this is like the same kind of like it just seems like what like Scott Pilgrim like ended up coming on to be, or maybe Scott Pilgrim actually came out just a little bit. I'm not sure. Was it early 2000s or late 90s? I can't remember. I have to look that up, but definitely just reminds me of that kind of stuff. Anyway, just looked it up. I mean, I definitely knew that Clerks, like at least the VSQ universe, started before Scott Pilgrim, but I thought like Scott Pilgrim was like 96 or something. But apparently, I think it started as early as 2004 and ended in 2010. But anyway, besides the point, I don't know. I guess I kind of like that kind of whatever, that kind of storyline, and it's to me, it's pretty relatable. They're comic book dudes, but not just comic book dudes. Like, Dante and Randall in particular are kind of more like movie dudes in a sense. I don't know how often they really talk about comics. I believe that they do every now and again, like especially in the comics anyway. But typically, I think I know that like each character kind of talks about each thing. Like Jay and Silent Bob are kind of more along the lines of just the dudes that talk about. Well, they don't only talk about like drugs and stuff like that, but the perspective of dudes that are under the influence. But Steve, Dave, and Walt are comic book clerks. You got the perspective of them, but like they're not like the cool guys really. They're kind of just the way that I'm seeing anyway, how Kevin Smith portrays them. They're both kind of just dickheads. And like Dante and Randall are kind of dickheads, but like they're kind of like cool, like the cool dickheads. Jay and Silent Bob are also cool dickheads. I always kind of get mixed up because Jason Lee plays like two characters with you got Brody and Banky, and Banky I believe is in Chasing Amy, where they're two comic book making duo, whereas I think Brody is in Mallrats with TJ. I just want to make sure. Anyway, it's not, this is small things. There's some things I don't have to even look up, but I just yeah, Brody. Okay, just want to these are small little details, but I always just like forget the small details, and sometimes the small details matter. Not in this case, I guess. Doesn't really totally matter, but it's just, he's just there's something about, I don't know. It's like he kind of writes some, he's got like the same characters. They're not exactly the same characters per se, but like I don't know how to even just. It's like the same. The way he makes his characters is very similar in the way of like in Marvel and DC, where like a lot of the characters were kind of similar, but they still were different. I don't know how to explain it. It either makes sense or it doesn't. And, it is what it is. All right, so Randall gets more involved in the whole like I don't know if I even mentioned this, but he pissed off a guy, essentially Saint. It's like it said Nicholas Saint, Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus, and the dude, Nicholas Saint, said, "You're on the list." And as Dante's going over to the hospital, Randall's visiting Santa, and he's like, "I've got that info on the dwarf porn you were asking about." And an elf pops up and says, "Well, don't be stingy with it, cockface." He's like, "What? Who said that?" He's like, "I did, fecal fucker." He's like, "Oh my god. Don't just stand there, brown eyes, step inside and get your goddamn dick out of my face." Once again, I'm not really good with names, so I wouldn't have known the guy's name, but I did know the one dude who's trying to try to see the sailboat. I guess his name is William. He's from Mallrats, and he's in the insane asylum, or a psych ward anyway. Same one as Caitlin Bree, the girl or woman that Dante's trying to see. That's it's nice to see references and stuff like that. Just nice. They're not necessary, but makes it a little funny. Immediately after. Sad, huh? Reminds you how lucky we are to have our sanity intact. And the dude's like, "Can I poop in your mouth?" And he's like, "All right, Mr. Shrek, time for your group." And he says, "Can I poop in your mouth?" And he's like, "Not today, Mr. Shrek. It's Christmas Eve." This holiday special reminds me very much of like similar writing with the animated series. I guess a bunch of shit happened with Santa Claus. I guess specifically the Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny's brother got taken into like a cosmetic lab. They experimented some spray into the bunny's eye, or the brother's eyes, until the brother went blind, and they chopped the head off of the bunny. The Easter Bunny's brother, to see what the effects are like. So then the Easter Bunny got revenge by going to a stockholders meeting or something like that, and got like 13 executives eat X-Lax chocolate bunnies until they shit themselves to death. Which meant that Santa needed extra workers, so he got Jay and Silent Bob involved for some reason. Anyway, with Dante, I'm probably missing like a key part that happened within all that. But Dante ends up sticking a candy cane up Caitlin's pussy, which was suggested by Randall for Dante to do to Caitlin. And I guess it woke her out of her coma, but she never wants to see Dante again, probably. Well, not probably, but definitely. But she's now out of her coma. So, I don't know. Pretty fucked up. And at the very end of the scene, a piece of candy cane falls out of her snatch. And she says, "Bastard." I guess the reason why Santa was in Leonardo was because some intern blew him, I guess. But there's some other great crazy shit involved. I still like this comic. I'm not like dissing anything. I just I don't know. Anyway, there's a third member of the whole Clerks crew, I guess, named Vincent, but like he just mops up and stocks shit at the end of the night. And apparently they show him and everything before Dante goes over to visit Caitlin. But Vincent knocked out Randall, and that's why he saw what he just saw. Anyway, holiday special ends with Dante kind of walking away. Well, Randall's asking how the Caitlin thing, the visit with Caitlin go, and he said, "Don't ask." It's like, that bad, huh? And Randall's like, "Maybe we'll catch a flick later." And he's like, "I'll be here." And I think Dante's just working, I guess. Randall passes by Jay and Silent Bob. Jay chucks a Weeble at him, which, if you know what a Weeble is, I kind of know I think I know what a Weeble is, but I think there's like kind of like these updated toys that I played with when I was a kid that are similar. But there's a Weeble with a fatty attached to it, and kind of just like reaffirms Randall's dream state of seeing Santa Claus. And the last panel is Jay and Silent Bob walking away, and Jay says, "I figure the blunt makes it an even swap. Come on, Silent Bob. This jacket's gonna get us laid or paid and laid." Fuck, can't say anything right. But it's the denim jacket, the Motley Crue denim jacket that Randall was wearing as a kid, but Jay's not wearing it. The last comic in this book is called The Lost Scene, and it's drawn by, I believe, Phil Hester. Yes, and I think it's inked by Andy Parks Ande. Tales from the Quick. So the Lost Scene, I believe, takes place inside the funeral home, which they didn't end up showing in Clerks. They didn't even get to film because didn't have any money. But I mean, if I remember right, it's not even that necessarily important of a scene, but we'll see. I mean, thinking about it, the only settings in Clerks is there's literally the inside of the Quick Stop. There's RST Video. There's that other video store that that Randall eventually checks out later on, and there's on top of the Quick Stop, and then there's kind of scene shooting of the funeral parlor, I guess, rather than funeral home. And I mean, it's probably the same thing. Anyway, maybe it's not. I don't know. So there isn't too many scenes change up, but I don't know, man. The whole story just takes place. It's all within the Quick Stop anyway. So why not? But it's almost if you had money, it might have even made the movie a little bit shittier. Even, who knows? I doubt it. Honestly, it probably would have been fine shooting that scene. In fact, probably might have even was like, oh man, look, they put a little bit more money into it. Blah blah blah. I mean, personally, I think Clerks is fine just as is. I mean, like I said, nothing's fucking perfect. I could probably pull. I mean, I already talked about it, so in another podcast. Anyway, getting back to the Lost Scene. While in the funeral home, Randall's talking about these death cards, and he says on the front there's a picture of Jesus, or Mary and Jesus, or Lazarus and Jesus, blah blah blah, and a significant quote regarding being dead. And on the back you got your stats and a bonus prayer. In this case, the acts of contrition. That's so fucked up. Julie's is what I like to call a rookie card. You sicken me sometimes. Hey man, everybody needs a hobby. I hope I've been saying TS and not TJ. Brody and TS. I might have been saying TJ. I don't remember. So, I mean, with this scene, you're kind of getting like the outside perspective. I mean, I think this might have even been kind of like told in another way or another scene anyway. But this one girl, Alyssa, she's talking to Dante and saying how Caitlin's told like pretty much everybody that she's getting married. and this is, I guess, like when Dante finds out about the whole. Well, finds out more about Caitlin's engagement to a design major named Singh. Oh, fucking A. Well, I mean, Alyssa, kind of looks like Joey Lauren Adams in a way in some of the scenes. I did not know Alyssa was actually. Fucking 2 and 2. You know what I mean? I just forgot that fucking. The character's name was Alyssa and not Mallrats, but Chasing Amy. Well, that's kind of so that's kind of cool. So in a sense, Clerks is more along the lines of like a standalone film in a sense, but like because Kevin's gotten more chances or decided to take more chances, there's more to it. This could have been just like a random scene. But no, it is interesting for sure. Seeing all these different story lines and all these characters from different parts of the universe come together in different scenes and cameos. And I guess Dante's kind of almost like, once again, just like living almost in a fantasy, talking to this Caitlin girl, because there's so many things that Caitlin's doing in her life that he doesn't even know about. And some people that she's still has enough time to discuss and talk about her life with these other people, and not necessarily Dante. So Dante's kind of sniveling in a sense, not literally, but a little bit, while waiting in line to see what's her fucking name? Julie. That's right. Okay. But Dante's telling a story about how Julie's parents caught Dante and Julie fucking one time, or getting more juicy details by the second. Dante was eating out. Julie, parents come in. I guess parents knew Dante's mom, so they dropped out of the parish, and I guess Julie got grounded for 2 months. When Randall says his condolences to Mr. and Mrs. Dwyer, he then then shows that Dante's here too, and the parents are fucking pissed. Dante and Randall notice that Julie's kind of dressed very scantily clad, and maybe that has something to do with the fact that she her death in the first place of trying to lose 10 pounds, because I guess the camera adds 10 pounds. But Dante's like, a tube top, what were they thinking? And Dante's like, if anyone ever asks, I want to be laid out in a suit. So I don't know, just still commentary on very, very small things. So Randall's pretty much checked out by this point, but Dante still wants to make a prayer, or wants to pray anyway. Dante chucks the car keys at Randall because he wants to leave. Randall fumbles them, and it falls onto Julie's stomach, and then falls into her skirt, under her skirt. Once again, this is a dead girl, not to reach into her skirt. And with Clerks anyway, they says 5 minutes later, and they talk about how casket fell over. It was Randall's fault. Alright, so Julie's dad sees that Dante and Randall are fucking around or whatever, and wants to see what the fuck's going on. Then sees Dante's hand down Julie's skirt, and Mr. Dwyer lunges at Dante, and he wants to fucking kill him. He's like, "You sick perverts!" And all this fighting ends up having the casket fall over. Fucking Jesus Christ. The nuance that Kevin Smith's able to do in his writing is pretty. I definitely can at least acknowledge it. kind of making mention once again about the whole like tube top and in the skirt. And, it's kind of like unorthodox, but it's just how it is nowadays, I guess. But because of all that, and the chances of, a weird ass event happens, a slip up, and ends with the two of them. Specifically Dante finding himself into another situation, that he could have potentially avoided, but maybe he couldn't have. I don't know, man. Just we all get into shit that we don't mean to get into. And that's pretty much it. Then it kind of cuts into what would happen next with Clerks. In Clerks, the movie. I'm gonna go to break real quick and kind of finish this out. I always like to try to go to an hour, and I was thinking about saying fuck it, but there's like 5 minutes left, and I'm sure I can shoot the shit. So I've read these three comic books before, and way back in the day, probably like, I don't know, maybe 2012, 2013, 2014, maybe I don't think 2015, but we'll see. I have no way even proving that I even read them in the first place other than just now. But I don't know, just take my word for it anyway. I really like this one. It reminds me, this is perfect. Personally, I don't know, I have a bunch of scripts myself that I've written, and not even none of them, as far as I'm aware right now, are movie scripts per se, but just the idea of one idea turning into having multiple different medias or formats, comic book form, fucking. I wonder if there's actually, I know Kevin Smith has written books, but I don't know if he's written a novel per se. Anyway, animation, obviously the movie itself, plenty of merchandise, video games. I'm not alone in wanting to do a lot of this stuff, and I think the most important part is, seeking to completion, I guess, and not just, half finish or finishing, halfway, or finishing halfway or whatever. Next up would be Jay and Silent Bob's Chasing Dogma. And then after that is Bluntman and Chronic. I could be wrong. This might not be actually in the right order sequence, but I believe it is. And I with reboot. Or even well, I would say reboots. Honestly, thinking about Strike Back. I'm not sure if there really were too many. There were moments of, clearly, at the very beginning, with Ben Affleck's character Holden, and you got Brody, or Banky. Brody shows up at the end. Or, no. Sorry. Brody starts at the beginning, Banky shows up at the end. My bad. There's just I was gonna say with Jay and Silent Bob Chasing Dogma, you got, clearly the Jay and Silent Bob movie, you got Chasing Amy and Dogma. I don't know if there's any Mallrats sequences in here. I would say there were some moments of, they did make some mentions of Mallrats and Clerks anyway. They make mention of, I think, Brody and TS. I think pretty sure I said TJ. Probably did, but it's whatever. If I didn't, then I didn't. Anyway, I wish that Kevin had enough time to to have tried making Clerks into a regular written series, a comic series, even though it was bi-monthly or something like that, or tri-monthly, whatever, or quarterly, whatever you want to say. I know it's a lot to take in though, clearly, and what more? They kind of just did a little Christmas special in the middle of the book, and the last one was just a lost scene from the movie, from a Clerks movie, or from the Clerks, or from Clerks. Fuck, man, it's from Clerks. And then the first one was just kind of just what happens. Well, I guess the holiday special is also what happens after Clerks 1. I would say the most significant event is you kind of see Caitlin come out of her coma, I guess. I mean, other than that, you know what I mean? Like, same old Clerks. But I don't know. I fucking like I said, I love the animated series, and maybe one day I'll just like talk about the animated series. I mean, there's only 6 episodes, and I think there might be like maybe one more episode or something like that. But I don't know, man. I really like the artwork. I thought like the writing. I felt like the writing, the paneling. I mean, everything was pretty fucking spot on. Yeah. If you liked what you heard, GRMBL, GRMBLS. I do a lot of things. I'm on Twitter and Instagram right now. I'm going to be putting out some music. Technically, it's already supposed to be out, but there's some fucking difficulty and shit that I'm having right now with the streaming services. I gotta fucking. I think it's like I said. I think it's because I have a demo up and blah 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 blah. I might have to take the demo down. And anyway, I want to still review my each album that I do. Not my soundtracks per se, but just to show that like I'm willing to do an art critique on not only other people's work but my own work, and you'll see how I thrash and trash my own fucking material. I mean, my biggest fear is honestly like listening to it and be like, fuck, I honestly think I should redo the vocals on it, which is probably gonna fucking happen. It'd be awesome if it didn't happen at all, or I just kind of like just said, fuck it, I just accept it for what it is. Because I mean, some of these songs I've been working on for, I mean, like vocally anyway, some of them like just years, since it's like as late as 2016, maybe 2017, early 2017. Fuck, man. A lot of work, and sometimes the work doesn't get to be made public, which is fucking sad as fuck sometimes. Happened to me way too many times, but I honestly blame myself. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. Take care, I guess. You'll either see what I'm talking about one day, or you never will. Have a good night. Or day, or whenever the fuck you're listening to this. Or evening, dusk, dawn. I don't know.